All right, let's jump right in. AI is everywhere, right? It's in our headlines, it's on our phones. It feels pretty much impossible to keep up. But what if we could just cut through all that noise and get straight to the real data?
Like, what actually happened this year? What were the real breakthroughs? What are the true costs? And, what does any of it mean for us? To figure that out, we've got to go way beyond the hype.
And that's exactly what we're about to do. We are diving deep into the brand new 8th edition of the Stanford AI Index Report. This is, hands down, the most authoritative source on the state of AI. So let's see what the data really has to say. Okay, first up, the speed. The sheer breakneck pace of AI's progress is just staggering. We are not talking about little baby steps here. We're talking about massive, massive leaps in what this tech can do, happening faster than ever before.
So, let's start with coding. AI was put to the test against a bunch of real-world software engineering problems. It's a tough benchmark. Just 1 year ago, AI could solve less than 5% of them. Today, get this, it solves almost 72%. That's not just an improvement, that's a whole new ballgame in just 12 months.
And it's not just about writing code either. They tested it on graduate-level science questions, the kind designed to stump even human experts. In a single year, AI's score shot up by almost 49 points. That pushed it past the expert human baseline for the very first time. It's incredible. But this might be the most stunning jump of all. We're talking about pure reasoning. On a qualifying exam for the International Mathematical Olympiad, a new AI model scored a jaw-dropping 74.4%. To give you some perspective, the best model before this scored under 10%. This is a fundamental shift in AI's ability to actually think through a problem.
And this kind of progress is so profound, it's now getting recognized with the highest honors in science. Just this year, AI-related work won Nobel Prizes in both chemistry and physics. On top of that, it took home the Turing Award, which is basically the Nobel Prize of computing. But, achievements like these don't just happen. They take a massive engine of people, money, and power.
So who is actually building these amazing systems, and what does it take? Let's take a look inside the engine room that's powering this whole revolution. The amount of resources needed is almost hard to wrap your head around.
So the AI ecosystem has kind of split into two different jobs. You've got the industry giants. They're the factories pouring in massive resources to build almost 90% of all the new AI models. And then you have academia. They're like the foundational research lab, publishing these super influential papers that plant the seeds for the next big thing. It's a relationship that works together, but it can be a little tense.
And when I say massive resources, I mean it. Look at the price tag. Last year, training GPT-4 was estimated to cost around $79 million. This year, the estimate for Meta's Llama 3.1 is more than double that, a staggering $170 million for one training run. But here's the wild part. While building these things costs an absolute fortune, the price for you and me to use them is getting cheaper at a crazy speed. The cost to process 1 million tokens, which are just little bits of words AI uses, has dropped over 280 times in less than 2 years. What used to cost you $20 now costs just 7 cents. It's making powerful AI accessible to pretty much everyone.
But there's another cost, and it's a big one: the environmental cost. The carbon footprint for training these top models is just exploding. Training Llama 3.1 released nearly 9,000 tons of CO2. To put that in perspective, the average American's carbon footprint for a whole year is about 18 tons.
And that brings us to the core tension of AI right now. All this incredible power is a total double-edged sword. It's creating just as many challenges as it's solving.
As AI gets more and more woven into our lives, the number of reported incidents, things like privacy breaches or dangerous fake news, is shooting up. In 2024, we hit a record high of 233 incidents. That's a 56% jump from just the year before.
And this points to a really critical problem coming up. AI models are hungry. They learn from this huge ocean of public data on the internet. But that ocean is starting to shrink. In just the last year, the number of websites blocking AI has shot up from 7% to 33%. The well these models are drinking from is, well, it's quickly being cordoned off.
This also highlights a really weird paradox in AI today. A model can totally ace a math Olympiad, but then it can fail at simple, real-world planning that needs reliable, step-by-step logic. It's this reasoning gap that's holding AI back from being used in high-stakes situations where you just can't afford a mistake.
Okay, so let's zoom out and see how this all adds up to affect the most important variable here, us. How is this technology actually changing our work, our health, and our societies?
You know, one of the most consistent findings in all the research is that AI can be a great equalizer in the workplace. Study after study shows that these tools give the biggest productivity bump to less experienced workers, helping them perform a lot more like their senior colleagues. So it's not just making experts better, it's lifting up the whole team.
But how we feel about all this, well, that varies dramatically depending on where you live. In China, a huge 83% of people think AI's benefits will outweigh the risks. In the United States, that number is way more skeptical, at just 39%. That shows a really deep cultural divide in how we're looking at our AI future.
And the potential benefits here are genuinely life-changing. I mean, take AlphaFold 3. This technology, which is built on Nobel Prize-winning work, can now predict how the core molecules of life all fit together. This is speeding up the search for new drugs and new treatments for everything from cancer to diabetes. It's promising a complete revolution in medicine. So with all this happening so fast, how is society responding? And maybe more importantly, what's the one big question we all need to be asking as we go forward?
Well, for one thing, policymakers are scrambling to catch up. At the U.S. state level, the number of AI-related laws getting passed has just exploded. Back in 2016, there was just one. This past year alone, 131. It's a massive effort to try and build some guardrails around this powerful tech.
And that leads us to the final and most critical question. It's one posed by the report itself. With AI on track to consume pretty much all of the public data that exists within a few years, and with more and more of that data getting locked up, what will these systems learn from next? The answer to that question, that's going to define the future of intelligence itself. Thank you for joining The Explainer.